I always say, whenever I do a family session and I come in a house and someone's like, I'm so sorry, my house is a mess. I was like, no, leave it, because that's life.
Hey there. Welcome back to another episode of Art Estate. I'm your host, Nicole Romanoff, and today, buckle up because this episode is Chef's Kiss Good. I had the absolute joy of chatting with the wonderful, hilarious, and ridiculously talented Delaney Denham, a wedding and lifestyle photographer with a knack for turning ordinary moments into cinematic magic. We cover a lot of ground in this episode. Everything from how a casual Pinterest post led to her photographing a wedding in Italy, to her candid thoughts on photographing love stories while she's still waiting for her own rom-com moment. One of my favorite moments, when Delaney said, "Sometimes I'm capturing the very thing I long for, and it's both beautiful and bittersweet." And don't worry, there's plenty of laughs, including Delaney's not-so-secret love for singing loudly in the car. And no, she's not turning it down at red lights. Trust me, you'll feel like you're hanging out with a friend who just gets it. So grab a coffee, tea, or whatever you're sipping on, and let's dive into this fun, honest, and inspiring chat with Delaney Denham. Yay! I'm excited.
Okay, so do we look at the camera? No. The camera's not here.
Let's just look at the camera.
Hey, guys. You know what? That's such a great question.
Oh, man. I often do ask SJ questions during the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you ever
pipe in?
Keep that? Yeah, we should almost give you a microphone next time.
Yeah, you should. You know what? If this podcast leads to relationship advice, then we'll give him a microphone. SJ, please help me. Yeah. Does he like me or does he not?
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine you giving relationship advice. That's actually true, I'm sure.
Man, any conversation, I feel like relationship advice just like sneaks its way into there.
Yeah.
I love this, but like I have no love in my life. Yeah. No.
You don't?
Oh, me. Oh, no.
Let's get into you. Let's dive into Delaney's
I literally said that.
Status.
I was like, I said that to Alicia. I said, wait, no, I got to make sure I can open up about my relationships because that's a whole other episode.
Okay, that's our part 2. That's when I do my round robin again. We'll get back to that.
It's wild. Like I either said I'm either going to start a podcast or write a book because there's.
Oh, and you're so young. How old are you?
I'm 27.
What?
I turned 27 in May.
Here, I thought you were 22 or something.
Oh, I know. I look young. I look like a baby.
You do look like a baby.
I do.
But not that you act like a baby. I just figured you were
youthful.
Like, yeah.
No,
I 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm old. I know.
You're not old.
26. Let's say that.
26.
Not 27.
Where was I when I was 26? Well, SJ and I had just met.
Oh, really?
Now we are this is turning into a relationship podcast. We met at Lydia's. Do you remember Lydia's? Was that a thing when you're like...
Okay, what's the premise of Lydia's? Like, is it a coffee shop?
No, Lydia's was like a Irish pub or something. What would you call it? It was on
I don't know why.
Broadway.
Irish bar. Okay.
Irish.
I was thinking it's a furniture store. That's what came to my mind. Can you imagine?
Oh my
Do you need
gosh.
help lifting this couch?
That's more...
Closing down.
Oh, really? Oh, well, there you go. Off sale furniture store.
Huh.
Oh my God. How did you guys meet?
Well, SJ is a musician. Did you know
yes,
that?
Very good musician.
Yeah, you are a very good.
Yes.
Good. A good.
Yeah, you're good.
Good musician.
You're pretty good.
And it was the end of the night, and I was with my sister and a good friend, and my friend was interested in one of the guys he was playing with.
Oh,
so we ended up going there. No, not him.
And he just stole them from her.
That would be a nice twist.
Yeah.
And then, we met, and SJ was smitten. He was smitten with me. Yeah.
Did you play hard to get?
Did I?
Yeah, I think a little bit.
See, that's my problem.
Bit.
I'm like,
too much.
Take me. And they're like,
funny.
no. And Alicia's trying to teach me how to play hard to get. Because
that is funny.
I think I just want to love so badly.
Right.
And especially my job.
No, the less you want it, the better.
I know.
It makes them want you more, I guess.
Right now we're off. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But, so then what, did you go, did he like ask you on a date?
Well, let me tell you.
Sorry. Continue the story.
How did this happen, SJ? How did we end up hanging out?
Well, I asked.
Oh, he asked.
He was just like, you want to chill?
And then she's like, oh, yeah, we could go for lunch. You know where we went for lunch?
Zellers.
Stop.
We went to
Was
Zellers.
there a cafeteria in Zellers?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was a restaurant. It was like 50s themed. It was like this cute little diner.
Was that in Lawson Heights?
No, at this one. Well, there was one in Lawson, but in Circle Park Mall, or what do you call it now? Circle Center?
Oh, yes.
Circle Center. Center at Circle and 8th. It's had so many names. So we went there. And he was so nervous he didn't eat.
Stop.
He was so nervous. It was really cute.
God, that's amazing.
And then we went out again, but this time it was more of like an official date. And then
that's
it might have been Earl's or something. That was the only real hot spot in town, I feel like, for food.
See that.
So we went there a lot in 08, 09, 08.
We should sponsor this podcast.
Right?
Then what happened without Earl's?
Later. And the next day at work, Allie Perrin, for those who want to know specifics, she was like, how did it go? And I was like, I think it went really well. And then she's like, oh, really? Because Jordan said SJ wasn't sure. And I was like, what? I was very confused. I was thrown off. So I maybe played hard to get too much.
Yeah, he was like, this girl's not confused.
In it. Yeah. So he was pulling away.
It's a no for her. Oh, but obviously things worked out.
I guess so. I'm not sure how.
That's so cute.
Here we are 16 years later.
I love
or 17.
That.
I don't know. 16.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's
crazy.
I love hearing stories like that. I always ask my couples, I'm like, give me the lowdown. How did it happen?
We should get you to take our photos. I do like doing that sometimes. SJ hates it.
I would love.
And actually, we're not super like romantic in front of the camera.
I might change your mind. I've changed a lot of people's minds on photos.
Ooh, I would love to see how you work. You know, like experience it. That I love actually getting my photo taken by other photographers. It's almost like research. It's like, oh, how do they do this? And
totally,
I learned so much.
You get like an insight on like how they create their art. I feel bad all the time because it's just me at home. Are we started?
I think so.
Okay. Well, are we gonna do an actual intro?
Oh, we will. We'll get there.
Okay. Okay. I'll just finish my thought.
Let's do this.
What was I saying?
We were talking about
having other creatives take my photo.
Yeah.
I always feel bad because I don't have a partner and I don't have a kid. I don't have a dog. I mean, I have my family, but I have nothing that like I can reach out to you and be like, can I have a couple session? Can I have a family session?
Right.
So when I have other photographers reach out to me and they're like, Delaney, can you take this? I was like, yeah. And at the end, I'm like, I'm sorry. I wish I had like someone... Like a reason to hire you because I got nothing. And
all in good time.
True. Yes. But I'm very selective on who takes my.
Yeah, that's so good.
My
I
headshots.
Actually was thinking recently that I was like, I wish I had more. Like I feel like there was a period of time where I was very focused on, I want to be in a relationship, and so I spent a lot of energy trying to be in a relationship.
Yes.
When looking back, I'm like, why didn't I just, worry about me more, enjoy the time that I had?
Oh, yeah.
Just me. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I was like boy crazy, but I do feel like
you get lonely.
Spent like, energy, like trying
unnecessary energy on people. Yes.
I wish I would have like done more traveling by myself or this or that.
Again, a whole other episode we got to come back to.
Yeah.
I could talk about how being single and being a photographer and shooting all this love, and you're like, I want all of that. And like, because people always say, they're like, I live vicariously through you. And I'm so grateful of all the opportunities that I've had.
Yeah.
And then people are like, I'm so jealous, but in a good way. And then I just look at them and I go, thank you. I'm like, but I hope you realize how much I look up to you because all I want is to find my person and start a family. Like your family of 5, that's like my goal. That's not my goal right now. But I'm always like, I remind people that, I'm living a cool life, but their life is just as cool in a different way.
Right.
And they're like, oh,
different stages of life.
Totally.
Right? How would you even meet people these days? Like before.
Oh my God, this is so
I know
funny.
it is more of a dating podcast. Okay. But I kind of love it. I'm curious.
Like, no. Because I'm going to say one of my people's names on here. I'll slip up.
Maybe
That's okay.
we'll
I give all my guys
them
nicknames.
Something else.
No, they all have nicknames.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah.
Can we use those names? We won't get into it. We'll save that for part 2. But I am curious because I... 16 years ago now, that was like the last time I was kind of courting. Courting. I sound like I'm from the 20s.
Gesturing. Standing outside with a boombox.
Exactly. But
it's hard.
You know, it was more in person than.
Yeah.
Is it all online now?
Pretty much. There's a lot of keyboard heroes.
Okay. Fake pictures too?
No, I haven't met a catfish yet.
I have actually been approached. Well, I've done a few of those sessions where people have wanted to update their profiles and this and that. And that's kind of fun. I'm like, oh, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
To find
for
your
like
love.
dating apps?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
That could be a whole business actually. Like, you could just specialize in that.
This is for your Tinder
profile. And then follow them throughout their lives.
That would be cool.
Oh, this is good idea for somebody. Really, it is. Somebody's going to take this and run with it. It'll start off, you do their dating profile and then you do their couples photos, engagement, and then their wedding and then their kids. Look at that.
That's so
the whole stage.
Well, like just this weekend, a groomsman was like, oh, make sure to get good pictures of me for my Tinder profile. I was like,
there you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got you. Or then that's like their subtle way of like hitting on the photographer being like, I'm single. And then I'm just like,
it's smooth actually.
It is. I've met someone through.
You slipped him your card?
I left a note on his windshield.
That's even better.
He was the videographer and
I
never met him before yet. And I was like, we're vibing. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to leave. I played hard to get.
Oh.
And I left without saying goodbye. And I put a note on his windshield and I left. Then 20 minutes later, I didn't leave my number. I just said, thanks for a great day. Oh. And he found my phone number. Yeah.
And he found it.
Yep. It was a good time.
That's a cute story.
It is.
I like that. Delaney Denham, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We're almost done. This is my last question.
That's the craziest intro ever. Yeah. Enough with relationships. Let's talk about photos.
So, just Delaney, kidding. I know a lot about you.
Hello.
And maybe our audience does now too, but maybe just share a little bit more about you and what you do, what you specialize in.
Yeah. So, I'm Delaney, as we now know really well. I am 27. I am from Prince Albert, and I'm currently still living there. I am a photographer. And I would say, if I had to like pinpoint, I'd say I'm a lifestyle photographer as well as a wedding photographer, and then take both of those and add travel to it.
Wow. I like that. And I do want to dive into that whole travel thing more because I find that so fascinating. Like how photographers are like making it worldwide and like how they're making these connections and how you're doing it.
It's crazy. Like,
how are you doing it? We'll just go there now.
Yeah, let's go right into it. Truly, like it helps that to start off with my traveling, it was people that I know from Saskatchewan. Yeah. So it was like people I knew. It first started out as Mexico destinations. And then, but my biggest thing, I guess, that really helped was I had like an epiphany. I was like, why do we need a reason to travel? Like, why does it have to be a bachelorette to go to Nashville? Why do I have to go to the East Coast for a soccer tournament? I'm like, you can just travel if you want to. So I also started to always just, if I was going on a trip, I would just take photos and then I'd promote it as if like that was a work trip. Okay. Like it is a work trip, but I guess just showing people that, oh, I'm traveling and I can take my camera with me. Oh, I never thought to bring someone with me. Right. And then another way was someone found me on Pinterest.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what kind of pin was it?
I'm not strategic. I'm not a strategic pinner, I guess, or Pinterester. I just, one day I was like tossing some of my favorite photos and, oh, am I falling through the crack? I could feel it slowly getting bigger and bigger. I was like,
what is he doing right now? This is unusual. It's right behind your butt.
No, it's okay.
Just for the audience, SJ is currently pushing our couch back together.
But yeah, I was just pinning. I was just posting photos, and this girl that I have the privilege of taking her wedding in Italy this May, she's like, I found you on Pinterest. I was like, no way. That was just because I thought it was cool and it looked like a Pinterest photo.
Yeah.
So,
and that's really interesting.
Word of mouth is huge too.
Okay, word of mouth. So, would you say you've done a lot of shoots in different countries and places around the world?
This last year was big for that.
Okay.
I went out to Alberta quite a bit, and then I went to Kansas City, and then I went to New York. That was awesome. I met a couple from Toronto and New York, and we shot their engagement session there.
Oh, nice.
Like bucket list. I was like, pinch me. This is amazing. And where else? I went to Las Vegas. So I'm like slowly dipping my feet in.
Yeah.
And I hope it continues because I love travel. And yeah, I'm starting to get into it. And I want to show people that, take me. Right. I'll be your third wheel.
How do you do it when you're there? I've shot abroad as well, and I find it's difficult to do the scouting part. How do you do it? Do you just kind of wander around, or how much do you reach out to people to find out different locations, or what's your method?
Honestly, sometimes I show up and I just go by the seat of, what is that saying? The seat of
your pants?
Seat of my pants, yeah.
Fly by the seat of your pants?
Yeah. And nowadays, there's a lot of model couples out there. So you can hire model couples.
Oh, I didn't know this. Where do you find them?
Honestly, you Google model couple, like me and Laura, that we go to Paris next week.
Yeah.
We want to shoot while we're down there. Well, it is work related. We are shooting, but we wanted to shoot more. So I literally Googled Instagram model couple Paris, and there's 6 show up. And you just DM them, and then you pay them, and you get them for a certain amount of time.
I had no idea this could be a career or existed.
100%.
Wow.
The States, it's crazy. The amount of model couples out there. Yeah.
Wow.
But what I've done, I went to Mexico.
Yeah. I
was like, I want to shoot a couple on the beach. And I went up to a random couple and I was like, hi, I'm Delaney. I'm a photographer. Showed them my profile so they know I was legit.
Yeah.
I was like, can I take your photo? And they're like, sure. So we scheduled the next day at sunset, and I took their photos.
Yeah. For you, I would say that you don't look very dangerous or so I feel like they would have trusted you right away.
Yeah. What's this child wanting to take my photo?
Oh man, that's funny. That's so cool. And so do you charge them, or is it just a trade for photos?
It's just trade for their time because, I don't see that's fair in my eyes. I'm also catching you off guard.
Yeah.
My biggest thing though that I think really helped roll the ball for me, I went to Italy for a retreat.
Yeah.
Met all these incredible photographers from the States. But while I was there, I went longer. I went for the month, and I did street photography.
Ooh, okay.
And some of my favorite photos are from my street photography, just because I want to. We went to Verona, which is the most. So much love in that city because it's where Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, of course,
met.
Yeah.
So I'm just in my element. I'm I love love, and couples are always touching each other there. They're always. It's everywhere you go. You could take a picture of someone, and there was this couple in the park. She was laying on his lap, and her feet were
dangling,
head right there.
Oh,
and he was looking down at her.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
I took a picture, posted it, loved it, got a lot of love on it. One of my favorite photographers ever randomly shared it. Her name is Esther Cannon, super well-known States photographer. And I was like, can I say shitting a brick? Like, I was like losing my mind. I was like, Mom, Esther shared my photo, like, without
That's amazing.
me knowing. And it all because I just like was doing a street photography because I wanted to take their photo. But
that's really cool.
Shout out to that couple.
Yeah. So did you reach out to them?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. That's really
They don't
neat.
actually know I took their photo. Which I'm like, I could see well.
Yeah. That's okay. That happens. We've done that before lots of times, especially when traveling, you know?
Right. And how do you not get someone in your photo?
Yeah. And like if you're inspired by something, it's important to take it.
And I blew it up as a poster size. It
There
looks
you go.
like a movie.
And now I distribute it and I make a lot of money.
It's in like 4 people's homes.
That's awesome.
Literally. They're all my relatives, but it's still cool. It's in my parents' house. You walk into the living room and
nice. I'm going to look. Is this on your Instagram? Can we find it?
Yeah, it's
or maybe I'll link it in the show notes and we can share it that way too. I'm curious about it.
I can print it for you.
Ooh, cool. And how much is it for sale for?
Delaney? Oh God, I don't even know. That's another episode too of pricing.
Reach out to you.
Yeah, we make a deal.
Yeah, nice. That's really cool. And the thing about when you make those connections, or if a photographer that you've looked up to for a long time shares it, don't you feel like it really like closes the size? Like you think that the world is so big and they'll never see it, but when that happens, it's like, oh wow, like we're all so connected and it's so a lot smaller, you know, than you 100%. Ever think.
You're kind of like, out of all the people in the world, you shared my stuff. That's even with clients like asking me to take their photo. I'm like, out of all the people and all the photographers in the world, you want me? Like,
it's a gift, hey?
I'm like, what? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is like kind of what I want to say. Like, you
moment.
Positive?
Yeah.
Like, I could give you other recommendations.
Oh my gosh. You're so talented.
Oh, thank you.
I was looking through your work earlier today. And
oh my God, I gave you way too many.
No, it was great. You probably noticed I downloaded twice.
Yeah, I did see that.
Because I never know. I'm like, maybe I'll want high res. Maybe I'll want websites.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anyways, I laughed to myself because I'm like, she's going to notice that I downloaded this twice. But just lovely work and very like cinematic too. And I want to know like what your process is for kind of creating imagery like that.
Honestly, and I get asked this a lot and they're like, how does that work? I wish I had the answer. I wish I could write down and give people a handbook and be like, this is how I shoot. But I can't. It happens in the moment. I think a lot of it comes from what I get inspired by. And I love movies too. I think movies are magical. So the fact that you can take our ordinary lives and make them seem magical is really cool. And movies make you feel. I cried a lot. I cry lots. Love to cry. And movies, I'll cry in movies.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I'll cry at commercials. And I'll like even the same one I've seen 100 times.
Yes.
Like that still gets me.
TikTok videos, like I'll cry.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't want my photos to make you cry. Yeah. But I want you to feel something. So I think that's where I approach the way I shoot. When I first started, I was like, I always shot vertical. I don't know why. I think it's because that was just a habit. All my photographs were vertical. And then a photographer in PA, I was chatting with her about it. And she said, Delaney, like, just take a look in front of you. I was like, okay. She goes, like, how we view the world is horizontal. I was like, oh my God, I can't unsee it now. Like, it's true. Yeah. And with phones now, everything is vertical on your phone. And I was like, wow, that's a really good perspective. So now I always see that. And am I going off topic? Did I answer your question?
No. Yeah. You're talking about like, your process and how you see things, and it's an emotional connection. Yeah. And I liked that tidbit about how we see things is horizontal. Yeah. And that's where that cinematography kind of plays into your work. Yeah. But it's very like, has this storytelling aspect as well. And you look at it and there's like, you sense the emotion in the couple. Mm-hmm. Nothing seems contrived. It's like very real.
Yes.
And I love looking at it. It's very like in the moment, and you could take any piece of work from your Instagram and print it, and it would be so beautiful and just tell like a really true story. So,
well, if you look at movies, rarely do you see people intertwine with each other unless it's a very intimate moment.
Yeah.
Movies, like space.
Yeah.
Sometimes space creates the most major effect in an image. Mm-hmm. There's always some sort of storytelling within the storytelling.
Yeah. That's
why I love creating movement. That's why I love different locations, because you're able to do things. Mm-hmm. Also, it makes your clients feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
Like when you give them something to do rather than, not that I don't love a good field and you pose yourself like you do what you got to do in a field, but give me downtown. Mm-hmm. There's so many things you can play with that can bring out a story within itself. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then I'm a sucker for lighting. I love to play with light. Mm-hmm. I think I never would have been who I am today if I didn't go outside my bubble and try things.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend who's like, oh, I can't do that. That's such a you thing. I was like, well, have you tried it? Like, have you pushed yourself to try and shoot with artificial lighting? Or I shot with just a light bulb one time because I was like, this would be cool.
Well, it's lighting.
Yes.
You know?
Right?
Yeah. It's funny how I feel like the more you do photography or the longer you do it, we kind of put ourselves in these boxes, because it's like there's this race to kind of discover your style, and then you put yourself in this box to kind of stay within that style, or like your friend labeled, oh, that's not me, that's you. Yeah. And you're right. Like, have you tried it? And it's like, why are we kind of caging ourselves in when, whatever, like say you had one lighting set up and I shot with it, the result would never turn out the same, same. If you had 20 photographers in the same room with the same light setup, the same models, the results will never be the same. So we shouldn't like cage ourselves into limiting trying something just because we feel like it doesn't resonate or it doesn't match what it is that we do.
Yeah. Well, that's like workshops.
Yeah.
When you go to workshops, there's like 10 photographers taking pictures of the same thing, but you see our final results, everything is different.
It is so different.
How you see things, how you edit.
Yeah.
The composition. Composition's huge.
Yeah.
Trying different angles.
Lenses even. Yeah. Use of light. And, oh yeah. Someone's really tub thumping up.
That's probably my car. My car has always the loudest volume. Actually, my neighbors across the street, they know me as the girl who plays her music really loud.
Awesome.
Because when I heat my car in the morning, my phone automatically connects.
Yeah.
It's just
you
music
can hear
blaring.
it outside. Yeah. That's funny. When you pull up to a light, are you the type of person that turns it down a little, or do you let it rip?
I'm full. I'm loud.
See, that's a goal of mine. I need to
really? You turn it down?
Turn it down a little bit. I'm like,
that's just
this
so
is
much energy I couldn't do. No, no. I'm a huge singer.
Yeah,
I love to
me
sing.
Too. I do too. Yeah,
and I will blast my music. Oh yeah.
Okay. That's a goal of mine, Delaney. Follow up with me in a year. We'll see where I am.
Maybe that's why I don't want to move, because I actually enjoy that hour and a half drive to PA, because I just sing for an hour and a half.
What's your go-to song?
Oh God, it changes on the daily. Right now I love Tate McRae.
Oh, interesting.
Anything her.
I feel like I just heard through the grapevine, someone that we know knew her dad or something, and he recently No, it was her boyfriend's dad, and her and her boyfriend just broke up.
The ex-hockey player.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
He cheated on her.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we won't cut this.
Actually, I spent a
ridiculous...
ridiculous...
Team Tate now.
Yeah, we are Team Tate. I get to meet her in August.
How come?
I spent a ridiculous amount of money on her concert ticket.
How much are her concert tickets?
Oh, well, I paid like $700 a piece.
Oh,
yeah.
So
it's
That,
VIP.
okay. Yeah.
So.
You know what? You got to splurge somewhere, right? You got to live your life.
Yes.
Good for you.
Should we sing?
Yeah.
Should we just harmonize right now?
The rest of this interview.
Oh, could you imagine?
Please don't.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay, back to bro. Oh my God, that would be cool. We don't need auto-tune, though.
Like the full-fledged thing, though. Like where it's like all distorted sounding.
I used to call myself a triple threat in high school.
Are you a dancer?
Well, I have rhythm.
Ooh.
I used to take dance when I was
Where
little.
did you dance?
In the PA small
Backstage dance company?
I think so, the PA dance. No, like the warehouse.
Warehouse, yeah. I knew it was something like that.
I said, Mom, why didn't
you... Jillian teach you?
Yes.
Jillian.
But I was like
her.
6.
She's so good. I did my teachers.
Under her?
No, she was my examiner. I did both my associates and my full-fledged like membership thing. And I think she was my... Oh, wait, maybe just the first one. Maybe she was just my associates, but I fell in love with her. Oh, no, wait. No, I'm lying even more. She wasn't my examiner, or maybe she was.
Yeah.
I don't even know her, actually.
But when I put students through exams, she was their examiner.
Oh, okay.
That's maybe where I'm getting my wires crossed a little bit. But anyways, Jillian, we love you. Or I love you.
Yeah, what I remember, great teacher.
Yeah.
She made me the last mouse in the mouse that had to touch the cat. That's all I remember.
In your dance?
Yeah.
Cute.
It was, I always said to my mom, like, why didn't you because I would love to be like a gymnast or dancer. She goes, Lane, you were in dance for like 2 years and you said, I don't like this. And I put you in soccer. I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
She goes, you were a sports girl. I played for like 15 years.
That's a long time.
Like if you were to ask, like how my career as a kid, like what I aspired to be, it probably started out as a vet, then a singer, then an actor, then a nurse, and then an occupational therapist. So my final goal in university, I wanted to be an OT.
Why OT? That's such a strange, compared to where you were heading, like actor and singer, to an OT.
I don't know why. Well, I guess growing up, I felt, where I went to school, I felt that they pushed a traditional job. Yes, they really pushed, like, go be a teacher, go be a dentist, go be a doctor, and go be a nurse. So I lived here for 2 years. I did the nursing program through the U of R at Sass Poly. But it was year 2 that I stepped onto the hospital and I was like, this is not for me. I'm not a nurse. Wow. Like I physically felt it. Yeah. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here.
That was your sign, your message.
Like I didn't think photography was not a thought until 5 years ago.
Really?
When I was 24.
So let's get into that. What's your story? Like how did you decide
that's so funny because I've been practicing this statement in my car for about a week now.
Oh, goody. I'm excited.
Yes. Wait, I think the couch is slipping a little bit.
And you keep sliding that way.
Oh, did I push? Because
that power outlet's
I'm like giving Drew Barrymore vibes to you right now.
Okay, here we go.
You just slowly.
I do feel like I'm really close to you now.
You can go touch that. You were like,
And kiss. That's funny. I feel like in my couple sessions.
Right?
Touch
You're
foreheads.
really giving me the...
Yeah. Really give me the full experience right now.
Exactly.
Okay. How I started?
Yeah.
So like I said, photography, not a question. Didn't
Not
even
on
think
your radar.
of it. But when I think back, there's a lot of things I did that had to do with photos, but still didn't click.
Click.
No pun intended. It was 5 years ago. After I didn't think nursing was for me. I was like, okay, well, I got to pick a profession in the healthcare. Yeah. I don't know why I had healthcare in my head. All through university in the summer, I worked with kids who had physical and mental disabilities. So I loved working with them. We were considered a mentor. So then I switched to nursing to kin. So I actually have my kinesiology and human kinetics degree.
Wow.
Yeah. So what that gets you is it's a good undergrad degree to go to grad school, or I could have been an exercise therapist. So I'm in university. Then this is what really, everything's archived so no one can find these. But my Instagram page of how it started was not intended to be a photography page. You know what I wanted to be? I wanted to be an influencer.
Really?
So I had a cheesy name like Life with Lane or something really cheesy.
Yeah.
And my 4th year of university, when I lived in Regina, because I was now doing my kin degree, I would take pictures of the things I loved, whether that be my outfit of the day, a travel flat lay. I remember I had my sister stand above me with my phone, and I'd get her to take a flat lay of like my knees and my schoolwork below me.
Really?
Oh yeah, and then I would edit everything. I got her to take a picture of me holding a coffee cup. I didn't even drink coffee back then. Like,
but that's what the influencers do.
Actually, and all my trusty 80 followers loved it. So that's what we started out as, and it evolved into not just my things and me. And then I started taking pictures of my friends. Still at this point, not clicked that photographer could be a thing. Still was just loving taking pictures of my friends, editing. That went on for a year until I guess what really started it was my neighbor, who is now one of my really good friends. In COVID, I was babysitting her kids. She had a full frame camera, Canon camera. And she had these beautiful pictures of her kids in her house. And I'm like, these are awesome. She's like, yeah, this is my camera. So she showed me one day and I was like, this is so cool. And then whatever, I kept being her friend and we were just hanging out without her kids involved. And I showed her my stuff. She goes, Delaney, why don't you just go buy a camera? I was like, why? She goes, do it. So then 5 years ago in the fall, I remember going to Dawn's Photos, buying my first Canon crop sensor. And it's literally history.
Changed everything.
Oh, it has changed my life. I would not be the person I am today if it wasn't for that camera.
Isn't it interesting that we all kind of need that person to point out what's so obvious?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But you still don't get it. Like I had a moment like that too, where it really kind of shook everything up. And then I was like, opened my eyes to be like, oh, that's an option. Because much like you know, here, you know, we live in Saskatchewan and it is a very traditional society. Like you get your traditional job and you have a family and all those things. And so maybe it doesn't really seem possible to make, you know, something that, you know, you think you're decent at a career, but it is possible. And look at how far you've come. Like, that's amazing. So how did you learn to use your equipment?
I was all self-taught. It was like trial and error. I guess my friend really told me the basics, like ISO, shutter, f-stop, all those fun stuff. But other than that, it was all me shooting. Like if I could give it advice to anyone new, like just shoot, like shoot what you love. My poor brother and sister, I use them all the time to model. Oh, there's some cringy
it was my
photos.
niece for me. Yeah.
You're just like, do you want to model and do this cool idea? Oh, the photos I have of them is so funny.
At the time, or maybe they're great, but at the time, you're probably like, these are incredible. And then looking back, you're like, what were we on back then? Exactly.
No, and that's so true, though. Like, in the moment, I'm ecstatic. I remember I took my sister in the hot tub. And I made, like, she had a bathing suit on.
A hot tub.
And I don't know why. I was like, I want to shoot Shay, like, soaking wet, and I had her mascara running down her face, and I just like shot with her head like above water level, and I thought those were the coolest photos ever. And I mean, at the time, Delaney was very proud of herself.
Well, and think like it's good that we felt that way because that inspired us to keep going. If we took those photos and we're like, these are absolute shit, like, do you think we would still be doing it?
Absolutely
so you kind of need to like think that you're good.
Lean into that excitement.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
what I've had like a couple photographers DM me and ask me questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing that made me so like successful like I am right now is early on I posted when I was excited. Like I didn't even think about it. Now it makes me kind of sad. I'm definitely not as confident as I first started. And
I hate that happened.
Actually though,
I'm like, yes.
But like also I take on a lot more too. So there's a lot more for me to decide. But when it was a hobby and I was going to school and then I worked a full-time job, I posted as soon as I got home from the session. I'd edit and I'd post it.
Oh, that's exciting. Do you do this today where you'll post something, you'll be super excited about it, you post it, and then instantly you're like, maybe it's not that good. Like it's almost like once you share it, you kind of like lose what you thought was so great or like special about it?
Totally.
Has that happened to you?
Before. I think I've had a couple moments where I was like, oh, I thought this would do way better because I was so happy and excited about it.
Yeah.
But then I saw a post and this like changed the game for me. The post said, I don't know if it was a post per se, but it was along the lines of this because I can't remember word for word.
Yeah.
But say you posted a post and it got 50 likes and you're used to getting 500, right? Well, in an Instagram world, we're so used to being like, that's not good enough.
Right.
That's bare minimum. But just picture it, 50 people in person coming up to you and saying, that's a beautiful photo. You'd be exhausted.
Yeah. That's a great way of looking at it.
Isn't it?
It really is.
I was like, wow, like 20 people is actually a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, thank you. Wow. Like that's like 5 people. Honestly, one person comes up to me in person and be like, I love your stuff. I feel like so happy and proud of myself.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I've stepped back from the whole let's gain traction rather than let's enjoy the art that we're creating. And I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of all my sessions. I want the people to know I don't have time to post every one session.
Yeah. It's a lot of work to post.
Yeah, it is.
Like social media, my God, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a whole other world.
There's Threads and Instagram and TikTok and my God, I could go on. But and then if you have multiple accounts like I do now, it's like I don't even know where to start.
Who gets more love today?
Exactly. Yeah. I find that my photo account is just it's like my oldest child now where I'm like,
do you have a personal?
I do, but I don't do anything on it. That's actually my oldest child that like definitely gets neglected the most.
It's the third child.
Account. Yes,
it's usually the third child. They have to raise themselves.
Yes, totally. Okay, yeah. Maybe that's how it is. Yeah.
Yes. Like, do you do that? Do you post something?
I post and then I think it's not very good?
Yeah.
All the time. Really? I would say everything that I do, I'm like, I'm very, very hard on myself, which I'm working on.
As everyone is, I feel like too.
Okay, that's good. But definitely, I don't know. It might also be this like thing where, again, living in a city or a small center where you're kind of raised not to be too like showy or proud or something like that. Yeah. And so it's like, no, it's better to like beat yourself up. I don't know if that's what it is, but
that's so funny.
Something that I'm working on for sure is trying to just, and also look at it where it's like embracing who I was then versus now.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying my best. I did this like yoga class the other day and it was by this older woman that was in her 70s. And she's like, on days when I'm, feeling really hard on myself, I just take a deep breath and I exhale and I say, I'm doing my best. And I was like, man, that resonated with me so much.
Yes.
I'm just trying my best. And like, who cares? Like, get over yourself a little bit.
And I think you're not alone in that. Like, I might come off confident. I'm a very insecure person, but I mask it really well.
Yeah.
So I think,
Well, I think our insecurities is what makes us lovable.
Totally.
Honestly, because then it's like you're kind of showing who you actually are, you
Yes.
know? And I actually think that insecurity is in a way like security, because you're actually secure in your being insecure. Oh my God. I'm not on acid, people. But
like I kind of get
really
what you're
interesting. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there is a lot of
I think it makes you appreciate your insecurity on someone else.
right.
Does that make sense?
And it's like being brave too.
Yes.
It's like I'm okay with, you know, not knowing everything and
Yes.
not being the best in the room. I love that conversation.
There's a quote. Well, I'm going to steal a quote from a friend of mine. He said, I asked him, we were shooting a wedding, and I said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He's like, I don't want to answer that question. I was like, oh, why? He's like, because truly, I don't know what I'm going to do in 5 years. I was like, that's so true. Because
true, yeah.
if you asked me 5 years ago, I thought I was going to be an OT and work at the Regina Autism Center.
Yeah.
And he goes, the saying is, better today than I was yesterday, and better tomorrow than I am today.
That's a good goal. It's,
right?
You know, it seems simple, but I feel like the simple ones are what kind of make you go like, whoa, okay, yeah.
So big. Little ones are actually so big. We have no idea.
Yeah.
But
That's really good.
I love that. And I think there's never a criteria we have to reach as artists. I think we're always changing.
Yeah.
And evolving. Like my style might change next year. You never know.
Yeah.
But
and that's okay. Like be open to it.
Yes.
Because then if you are going back to the whole box thing where we put ourselves in a box, we're not really being true artists, are we? Because we're feeling like we're living up to this ideal that we've made people think of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Versus being open to change and open to evolution. So I think that's good.
Me too. Yeah. As artists, I think we're known to be rebellious in going out of our comfort zone. I think that's what art is.
Yeah.
It's looking at something beautiful that's out of the norm, but the norm is beautiful too. I always say, whenever I do a family session and I come in a house and someone's like, I'm so sorry, my house is a mess. I was like, no.
Leave it. Because
that's life. Literally, a messy household. I grew up in a messy house. My mom, the amount of times she yelled at me because it was so messy, but in my eyes, I was fortunate to grow up in a household that was very loved and very affectionate. So when I see a messy household, I see
love and affection.
Love and affection. Like they're more so living together rather than having a tip-top clean house. But if you have a clean house, good on you. I wish I could have a clean house. Like, I guess I just don't prioritize cleaning very much, but
I understand your point.
Like,
right?
it's almost like, no, this is real life. I'm living. It's okay.
And isn't that the
clean.
point? Like documenting it, right?
Yes. I know. I don't like to, I'm going to be honest. I don't like to label myself. I see a lot of people who are like candid photographer, documentary photographer. I don't want to label myself because I do it all. Like I am a good mixture of everything. And some people can't, this actually really bothers me that people who claim that are documentary and candid, they don't talk about how there are some clients who need directing and they need posing and it doesn't come as natural to people.
That's so true.
Not everyone is going to know what to do in front of the camera.
Yeah. No, well, most cases not.
No, actually, normally, no one really does. It's quite intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
Even like I get nervous in front of the camera.
Oh my God. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm nervous right now.
I've been red this whole time. This is not even blush. This is natural rosacea right now.
It's honestly about 30 degrees in here.
It's really warm in here.
So I want to know, where do you see yourself in 5 years now that we've kind of touched on that? Do you have any broader goals for yourself that you would like to accomplish?
You know what?
What would ideal life be for Delaney in 5 years?
See, and I don't know if I want to answer that because I don't know.
Okay.
If anything, no, that's a lie. In 5 years, I hope I'm happy. And whatever I'm doing, I hope I have passion towards it. I hope I love what I'm doing. I hope I get to share it with someone eventually.
Yeah.
And they support me and I support them. But I used to be such an expectation girly, and then I would get really disappointed. And I hold that also in relationships sometimes. So I'm learning to not, I want to cry here. Just self-reflecting right now. I don't want to hold an expectation for me and then be disappointed. But I know that anything I do, I'm going to lead with my heart, and I'm going to put a lot of passion and love into it, just like the way I love all the people who are closest to me. I actually have a tattoo that it's an anatomical heart on my inner sleeve.
Oh, nice.
And it means I wear my heart on my sleeve.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I think, I hope I'm happy. I hope I'm continuing to learn to love myself and shooting outside my bubble.
Well, you should, because everyone else loves you.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, I can't picture someone more lovely.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're quite great.
Oh, thank you. You guys are wonderful too.
Oh, thanks, Delaney.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
On the gram.
Delaney Denham.
Yep. That's my middle name too, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Just pull that out of my butt.
I didn't know that.
My full name is Delaney Denham Swiston. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was my very first tattoo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's my mom's maiden name, and it's written in my grandpa's handwriting.
Wow.
So
it's beautiful.
Delaney
Everything
Denham
means a lot to you. Hey?
Oh yeah. All my tattoos have meanings.
Gosh.
Yeah. And like, if you ever notice, I have a bird. I use birds on my web. I don't know if you've ever been on my website, but there's a swallow. And if you see,
I was looking at your arm, actually. Are those the same ones?
Yes. So
nice.
And on my price guide, there's swallows, because swallows, they are known for wherever they go in the world, they always return home.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So no matter where they go in the world, they'll always return home, wherever that may be.
That's beautiful.
So then I started looking at home as rather a person than just a place.
Yeah.
Because it was one Christmas and we were at the Max tournament for AAA hockey because my dad was the coach. And it was the first Christmas not at home. And I was like, I don't feel like this is weird. I was like, because my home is actually my family.
Yeah.
So I felt at home because they were with me.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. I feel like people who get photos done with the people they love, that's their home.
Well, home is where the heart is.
Literally.
Yeah.
So that's why, I like meaning.
That's great.
Makes you feel
thank you, Delaney.
Thank you.
You're the best.
No, you
Love
are.
you. You're my rosacea twin.
Oh my God, literally. Oh.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Artist Date. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to subscribe and leave a rating. It really helps more creatives like you discover the show. Don't forget to follow along on Instagram at Artist Date Podcast for behind-the-scenes updates, inspiring content, and more. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Can't wait to connect with you again soon.